OpenAI's new model can code an entire simple video game from a prompt.
I want to show an example of a coding prompt that O1 Preview is able to do, but previous models might struggle with.
Okay. Let's see.
And the coding prompt is to write the code for a very simple video game called Squirrel Finder. And the reason O1 Preview is better at doing prompts like this is when it wants to write a piece of code, it thinks before giving the final answer. So it can use—
You gotta sell that Ubisoft stock right now, boys. Get that out the door.
the thinking process to plan out the structure of the code, make sure it fits the constraints. So let's try pasting this in. And to give a brief overview of the prompt, the game Squirrel Finder basically has a koala.
Does that have to be referential? Like, because I guess like you have to probably like link this here. So everybody touches you, you die. After 3 seconds, the squirrel icon spawns master done.
That you can move using the arrow keys.
The reason why I'm reading this is that one thing that I always find to be very impressive is when a language model is able to take conversational English and then transform it into technical language and then activate on that technical language. That's nuts.
Strawberries spawn every second and they bounce around. And you want to avoid the strawberries. After 3 seconds, a squirrel icon comes up and you want to find the squirrel to win. And there are a few other instructions like putting OpenAI in the game screen and displaying instructions before the game starts, etc. So first you can see that the model thought for 21 seconds before giving the final answer. And you can see that during its thinking process, it is gathering details on the game's layout.
A lot of coders going to lose their jobs. It's going to be a handful of coders doing a lot of coders' jobs. That's what's going to happen. It's bullshit. I'm working with AI every freaking day as a coder. It's very far from what they're saying. It's a template. And if you use it in the real world, you'll find out very fast that they do suck, all of them. I think that, like, that's probably true to an extent. But I think that it's going to be the same as AI art, where, like, a few years ago, you know, like, you would, you know, AI generate a picture, and it would be, like, a girl, and she'd have, like, 9 fingers, right? And like, the Eiffel Tower would be growing out of, like, the side of her head. But, like, now it's better. So, it's going to keep getting better, right? It's going to obviously keep getting better. Like, who's going to think it's not going to keep getting better? There's another coder works at the same time. The guy's delusional. Yeah, it's going to keep getting better. And I think also, like, by the way, like, this is my, like, I've only taken really, like, formally 1 class. Like, I've taken 3 classes total about things that are, like, related to programming, but I've only taken, like, 1, like, formal programming class. So, like, I could be a little bit, like, and this is, like, over 10 years ago, and I didn't even do well in the class. So I could be totally out of date. But my understanding about this is with C++, is that a lot of what this will probably do is ensure syntax, and a lot of the kind of 80% just kind of, what the word is for it? Like, the, like, busy work, right? It'll kind of get the busy work done, and then the actual coder that has a higher level of experience, a boilerplate. Yeah, it builds a boilerplate that doesn't have syntax errors that then the actual coder refines. Is that effectively, for any of you guys that work in this, is that what this is effectively doing? Because that's what I'm guessing. I would assume that, right? Indeed, and currently very poorly. Yeah, well, it'll keep getting better. But yeah, you're right.
Mapping out the instructions, setting up the screen, etc. And so here's the code that it gave, and I will paste it into a window, and we'll see if it works. So you've seen there's instructions, and let's try to play the game. Oh. The squirrel came very quickly, but Oops, this time I was hit by a strawberry. Let's try again.
Oh, there he is.
You can see that the strawberries are appearing. And let's see if I can win by finding the squirrel. Looks like I won.
Keep in mind right now, at this very moment, this game has more players than Concord. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Like, wow. Look at that. Korean Cipher, building OpenAI 1. What is this here? Coding. Let's see if there's anything else interesting about this. This is the one that we just saw. Writing puzzles, math with OpenAI. I'll look at maybe this, and then I'll look at maybe this.
So one of my favorite puzzles that I would do when I was a little kid is called a nonogram, where you're given an empty grid and then some numerical clues that tell you which squares in the grid you have to fill in. And I thought we could have the model play a little game where it first generates a puzzle to solve, then we ask another instance of the model to try to solve the problem that it generated. So yeah, I'll ask it, generate, say, a 5x5 nonogram where the final answer is the letter M.
Okay.
We'll see what it comes up with. All right, we see it just gave us a little puzzle. We'll go ahead and copy this, open up another window of O1, ask it, solve the following puzzle.
Bro, so he's making the puzzles and teaching the AI to solve the puzzles? Isn't this literally the... Isn't this how the singularity happens? Yeah. Theoretically, right? Oh, God.
And let's say, visualize the answer in some pretty way. Why not? This puzzle doesn't look like it's too hard, but the way that an nonogram works is for each row and each column, you're given a list of numbers, and the numbers tell you how many squares are filled in. And if the squares are consecutive, then you'll see like a 2 for 2 consecutive squares. If there's a space between them, you'll see a 1, 1.
Okay.
And so you're supposed to just try to figure out which squares do I indeed have to fill in. And it looks like the model got this right. Illustrated a nice little letter M. But I think one of the things that is like nice about examples like this is it's similar to like Sudoku or a crossword, for example, where you have to kind of make a guess and then see if that's a right guess or a wrong guess, and then backtrack if you get it wrong. And so any type of task where you kind of have to search through a space where you have different pieces pointing in different directions, but there are mutual dependencies. So you might get a bit of information that tells you that these two pieces contradict each other. Like a model like O1 is really good at trying to refine the search space here.
I feel like this is probably the easiest thing for an AI to do because it's completely mathematical and logical. I think the real challenge that AIs have is merging the human intuition with logical and methodical thinking. Not really. AI can't do everything. I would assume, right? I'm not sure. No, you guys don't think so? Abstract ideas? Yeah, maybe I don't understand. I've never seen a puzzle like this before, so I could be misunderstanding the way the puzzle works. So, okay, what's this one here? Building OpenAI.
We're starting a series of new models with the new name O1. And this is to highlight the fact that you might feel different when you use O1 compared to previous models such as GPT-4o. So as others will explain later, O1 is a reasoning model. So it will think more before answering your question. We are releasing 2 models, O1 Preview, which is to preview what's coming for O1, and O1 Mini, which is a faster, smaller and faster model that is trained with a similar framework as O1. So we hope you like our new naming scheme, O1.
So what is reasoning anyway? So one way of thinking of reasoning is that there are times where we ask questions and we need answers immediately because they're simple questions. For example, if you ask what's the capital of Italy, you know the answer is Rome, and you don't really have to think
this is
about
why
it.
kids are getting stupid, by the way. Is like now kids have this shit on their phone where they can just go and take a picture of a of like something they need to do, and like a math question, and they just take a picture of it, gives them the answer. So it's like in like probably I'd say 5 years, if not now already, like kids are getting so stupid they're not even gonna have to learn, like they're not even gonna know how to do math at all. Like it's gonna be like one of those things where like they just don't know shit. Like, can AI solve an Enigma coded message? I don't know. Math for nerds. Yeah, exactly. They already don't. Yeah, like it's crazy how bad this is getting. And like the problem is like a lot of math is like basic logic. Like math and logic and reasoning are like kind of they're like in a lot of ways interchangeable, right? And so like if you don't even have a foundation for understanding math, imagine how hard life is. That's like playing life on soul level 1.
Much.
Like,
but if you
that's bad.
wonder about a complex puzzle, or you want to write a really good business plan, you want to write a novel, you probably want to think about it for a while. And the more you think about it, the better the outcome. So reasoning is the ability of turning thinking time into better outcomes, whatever the task you're doing.
Sure.
It's been going on for a long time, but I think what's really cool about research is there's that aha moment. There's that particular point in time where something surprising happens and things really click together. Are there any times for you all when you had that aha moment?
There was the first moment when the model was hot off the press. We started talking to the model, and people were like, "Wow, this model is really great," and starting doing something like that. And I think that there was a certain moment in our training process where we trained put more compute in our L than before, and train first of all generating coherent chains of thought. And we saw, wow, this looks like something meaningfully different than before. And I think for me this is the moment.
I think related to that, so when we think about like training a model for reasoning, one thing that immediately jumps to mind is you could have humans write out their thought process and train on that.
Yeah.
One aha moment for me was like when we saw that if you train the model using RL to generate and hone its own chain of thoughts, it can do even better than having humans write chains of thought for it. And that was an aha moment that you could really scale this and explore model reasoning that way.
For a lot of the time that I've been here, we've been trying to make the models better at solving math problems, as an example. And we've put a lot of work into this, and we've come up with a lot of different methods. But one thing that I kept, like every time I would read these outputs from the models, I'd always be so frustrated that the model just would never seem to question what was wrong or when it was making mistakes or things like that. But one of these early O1 models, when we trained it and we actually started talking to it, we started asking these questions and it was scoring higher on these math tests we were giving it, we could look at how it was reasoning. And you could just see that it started to question itself and have really interesting reflection. And that was a moment for me where I was like, wow, like we've uncovered something different. This is going to be something new. And it was just like one of these coming together moments that was really powerful.
Thank you, and congrats on releasing this.
Oh my God. 4 of you coming soon? Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen with this. This is nuts, man. I'm trying not to learn verse. This is insane. So Microsoft.
I want to show an example.
It's crazy because Microsoft just ended up laying off 650 people off of gaming today. That's ironic. Wow. Like, whoa. What the fuck? Like, really? Like, damn. What are the odds of that? That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, pure coincidence. It probably actually is. But it's just funny to see it happen. It really is. Yeah. And why are there no women working there? There's a woman there. Like, I don't know. Some groups of people are mainly guys. Some are mainly women, right? It depends on the thing. You ever go and like try and count how many women versus men, bro? Like you already you already stupid.